Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 in iRacing, and after last week's success at Oulton Park, we're sticking with the Formula 4 car. Today we're at iRacing's brand new circuit, Winton, and it is tough. As you can see on the screen, we are nowhere near the front of the grid. We've just finished qualifying and the best we could do is to get it 9th. Now, I've got no idea where we're going to end up in this race. Just look at the times. We managed to 1:18.5. Now, we're only 3/10 away from 5th position, but we're also only 2/10 above 12th. So really, anything could happen in this race. We could be competing for a top 5, or we might be lucky to even get in the top 10. One thing is for certain though, we need to stay out of trouble on these first couple of laps. We saw the carnage at Oulton Park last week. I've got no doubt that there's going to be more of the same today, and we're buried right in the middle of the pack as the lights go green. So this first chicane at the end of the straight is going to be really tough. We're going to have to really have our wits about us to avoid all the cars around us. And already there's trouble. There's cars in the air. There's cars facing backwards. Somehow we've got through. Oh, it looked like multiple cars involved in that first corner collision. We might have gained a load of places here. In fact, we might even be as high as 5th. Well, we've got company in the rearview mirror. Look at Sean Doyle. He's going to get close. He's going to get too close. He clipped the rear of our car there and he lost control. I think he was able to rejoin down in 7th though. But yeah, we've rode our luck on this first half a lap. Some big incidents have put a lot of drivers out of the race, but we've managed to avoid them as we approach this tricky section of tight turns for the first time. That contact from Doyle behind did give us 4 incident points. I'm hoping it hasn't damaged the car. We feel okay at the moment as we come out towards this back straight. And I'm pretty sure there's only 4 cars ahead of us. Let's count them into the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, we are in 5th place. I'm absolutely delighted with that start to go from 9th to 5th on the first lap. But let's not get complacent. This race will take a while yet to settle down. And it looks like one of the leading 4 is going into the pits. Yes, that's Samuli Oulakainen. Now, Oulakainen was the pole position man and the favourite for this race. And he's gone into the pits after less than 1 lap. Did he jump the start, or did he pick up some damage in that first corner melee? We'll go and check out the replay shortly. But there's confirmation from crew chief. 9th to 4th in 1 lap. Right, here's a replay of the start. We got away fairly well. The same can be said of the number 1 car alongside me, David Sheboy. He was really sluggish off the start. But let's see what happened going into T1. And oh, it was very much a case of 3 cars trying to squeeze into a space where there was only room for 2. And Oulakainen, the pole position man, was one of the drivers who got clipped. He got through this melee okay, but he must have picked up damage. Let's ride on board with Sander Oudbeer. He really profited from it. Look at the gap he's able to pull out within a corner. And on board with Yusuke Akano, who's going to try and squeeze in. That's Oulakainen on the left. He took a big hit. No wonder he picked up some damage there. Meanwhile, a couple of corners later, we were going to take a hit of our own from behind. Keep your eye on Sean Doyle. He's just going to get a little bit too close. There's the contact. He almost loses control. He manages to get back on, only losing a place, but we got lucky there. Lap 2 then, and I really hope this race settles down soon, because that was a frantic first lap. We've got a little bit of breathing room behind. Volta is about half a second back, but we're concentrating now on chasing these 2 cars in front. Paul Mahon and Roberto Lacourt, they're battling really closely together here, and Mahon locks up. He misses the apex completely into this sharp right-hander. That allows us to close the gap. But it also allows Volt to close the gap, and he's going to have a sniff up the inside. Now he's on the outside for this turn, so we should be able to hold the position. But we're coming under pressure here from Volt behind. Oh, we saw Man miss the apex a couple of turns ago. Now it's our turn. We completely missed it going into that left-hander. That's invited Volt to have another try. We're going to have to stay defensive. Volt's on the outside. In fact, we're going to let him go, and Man's lost control. We've got no choice but to take to the dirt. That was the only way we could avoid Man there. But once again, we ride our luck here at Winton. No sooner do we lose a place to Volt, we get it right back because Man binned it. And actually on the approach to that corner, I did back out just a little bit sooner than I normally would. I knew Volt was on the outside and I wanted to let him through safely, and it's probably a good job I did that. If we'd both gone through side by side, chances are I would have ploughed into man there. So yeah, we got really lucky. But there's no time to rest because Sean Doyle is now right behind us. Sean's already hit us once. Oh, and he's going to have a look up the inside here, is he? We don't want to be going too wide through here. We're going to have to let Doyle through, but he's going to get out of shape. Two more cars are going to get out of shape. Oh, it's complete mayhem here. Doyle's not going to make the turn, is he? He just about manages to keep it on the track. Dear me, lads, we all need to take a deep breath and calm down, I think, here. This is absolute madness. Well, I asked for the race to calm down, but we certainly didn't get that wish granted. Let's start with watching man running in too hot. Look how close we both came to getting collected there. We'll get an even better idea riding on board with Volt. Here he's going to run around the outside. As I said, I backed off, and I'm so glad I did, because that's how close we both came to getting collected by man. And that incident allowed Sean Doyle to close right in, and this is the one part of the track where you don't want someone to make a move up the inside of you too wide here. I backed right out. I didn't want any part of it, and look at Doyle clipping the curb, getting sideways into that corner. There must have been a coming together as well in front of us. We'll go back and take a look at that too, because that involved Volta. We're actually watching a back marker who spins, and Volta's got nowhere to go. That was a big hit. Let's ride on board with Volta. He had no time to react, nowhere to go. There's the contact, and that must have caused him some damage. And look how unstable Volta is on the exit of that turn. He's got to have picked up some damage from that contact. Is Doyle going to make the most of it? Is he going to make a move up the inside? Yes, he is. So Doyle moves up to third. Volta might fight back. Oh no, Doyle shuts the door. There's a really good battle going on for third place here. I'm just going to hang back a little bit. We had fright after fright on that previous lap and a bit, so I just need to take some time to settle down. I'm worried about Volt's car. He's looking really unstable, but we've lost another front runner. That was Roberto Lacour in the dirt. Lacour was in second place. He's not anymore. Doyle's now in second position. Volta's in third. We're in fourth. Lacour's rejoined. He's 3.5 seconds back in fifth, but look, Volta is out on the grass. I felt sure he was going to crash then. I don't know how he saved it, but surely he can't go on like this. That car is handling atrociously. I think we just need to keep a little bit of a safe distance here, and again the rear steps out. I honestly don't know how he's keeping it on track at the moment. I really don't. And not only is he keeping it on track, he's got some serious pace still. But once again, look how out of shape he's getting out of that corner. It can't go on. Surely it's going to end in tears sooner rather than later. I think that if we just hang back a little bit, he's going to crash at some point. Behind us, we've got a 3-second gap back to Lacour, so there's a bit of breathing room there. But for now, I've just got to concentrate on Volta. It seems to be the exit of every corner he's struggling with. Is he going to get a bit squirrely again there? Yes, he does. You just see that rear weaving. He must be fighting so hard with that car just to keep it in a straight line. It really is a credit to his driving skills. And there's the confirmation from crew chief that we're back up to fourth position. That was the position we took this time a lap ago when Lacour span out. What's the gap back to Lacour now? It's 2.9 seconds, so we're maintaining the breathing room there. And this is the corner where I really fear for Volt. Once again, he's out onto the grass and kicking up a cloud of dust. Once again, he's survived. Oh, but he might have rode his luck one too many times. Volta has gone in a cloud of smoke. So 2 more positions gained. This was the first one. Lacour spinning out at T1. That put us up to 4th, and then the inevitable happened. Volta valiantly battling that damaged car, but that car said enough is enough, and it let go in big style right there. So Volt's big spin there put us up to 3rd position, but a podium was by no means cut and dry, because look at that gap behind to Lacour. It's down to 1 second now. It was 3 seconds a few laps ago, but we're watching the live action at the start of lap 8. Lacour is on a mission here. And we've got to be realistic. We know that he's faster than us. Before his spin, he was clear in 2nd place and lapping a good half a second quicker than us. So we can expect some company very, very soon from Lacour. Up ahead, Doyle has shown some really good pace since we lost Volt. He's opened up a gap of about 4 seconds, but that gap is going to come right down now because we can see the cloud of smoke, and Doyle has got it all wrong. Lord, speaking of getting it wrong, we almost come to grief as well in that left-hander. The rear stepped out. We managed to save it, but that was a close call. And we said earlier in the lap that we expected some company from LaCourte soon, but I wasn't anticipating it quite this quickly. But that mistake has allowed LaCourte to close right in on us. The fight for third is well and truly on. Yeah, it's so easy to get into trouble around this section. You just need to clip that curb on the inside. That's exactly what Doyle did. He carried a bit too much speed in, lost the rear, and that 4-second advantage was wiped out in an instant. We're going to jump forward a couple of laps now and rejoin the live action on lap 10. You can see ahead that Doyle has already started rebuilding that advantage, but we've got company. LaCourte is going nowhere. He's been within half a second throughout those previous 2 laps, but thankfully we're just about keeping our nose far enough ahead to prevent him from making a move. But I must admit, I'm beginning to feel the pressure now. I never like it when I'm being chased down like this, and I'm always liable to make a mistake. So far we haven't done, but we're just about to make one here. A glance to the rearview mirror shows me that LaCourte is sniffing up the inside. That causes me to miss the apex. I'm leaving a huge gap on the inside. LaCourte's alongside now. He's not quite got enough speed. We've got the defensive line, so I'm confident of holding on here. And yes, we do get through that turn, still holding the advantage, still holding third position, but we were rattled there, and no doubt LaCourte will smell blood. It looks like he got a better exit out of the final turn. He's carrying a bit more speed. He might have a look up the inside. It'll be a brave move if he tries it with side by side momentarily, but we're carrying the speed through and the racing line. Still we're holding on here, but the pressure is cranking up. Again, we just missed the apex, but there's not quite enough room for him to make a move up the inside, so he's still behind. We're still holding on, but this is really hard work now. Never confident going through that section. There are so many things that can go wrong. You can run onto the grass, you can clip the curb, you can outbrake yourself, you can lock up, lose the rear, lose the front. It's an absolute disaster waiting to happen, that section, but thankfully we've avoided disaster yet another lap. But there was absolutely no let-up in the pressure being applied by LaCourte. We've held him off for 3 laps now, but there's still another 5 laps of this race to go. How we're going to hang on, I don't know. But we're going to jump forward and rejoin the live action on lap 12. Still we're ahead, but still he's within striking distance. 0.2 of a second as he has a look up the inside again through this tricky section. And at this point in the race, I've got so many things going through my mind. What should I do? What shouldn't I do? Should I stay on the racing line or should I go defensive? All these questions racing through my mind, and I end up making another mistake here. Just getting on the gas a little bit too early, and you heard me having to lift. I was headed towards the grass, and that lift is going to cost me momentum, so I have to stick to the defensive line into this left-hander. We're under real pressure now. Again, LaCourte has got the speed, but again we're going to stay on the inside defensive line and try and force him to a wide outside line. LaCourte decides against that. He's happy to tuck back in behind me, but yeah, you know that he's smelling blood at this point. And there are still 4 more laps to go. And the onslaught was relentless. And at the back of my mind was the thought that LaCourte may start to get a little bit frustrated. We know that he's faster, and lap after lap he's not been able to get around us. And with 2 laps of this race to go now, is he going to take a bit more of a risk to snatch that final podium position? He's running out of time, so he's going to have to do it in the next couple of laps. All we can do is hit our apexes, hold our line, and grit our teeth. We've held him off for the best part of 6 laps now, so we've only got to do it for 1.5 more. Oh, but it looks like he's poised to strike. He's carrying speed. He's going to have a look up the inside, and again we're going to go too wide into this turn, and again I didn't fancy it. I eased right off, and with that we've seen our 3rd place slip away with 1.5 laps to go. It was a valiant battle. We did everything we could to keep Lecourt at bay, but ultimately it was my own fault. I left a gap there and he went for it. If I'd just been a little bit more defensive into that left-hander, we could have held on. There would have been no way around the outside. We saw that he had the extra pace in the rearview mirror, but by the time I realised it was too late, I'd already committed to the wider racing line. So it looks like 4th will be the best that we can hope for here. Not that that's a bad result. We started 9th on the grid, remember. And there's a car going into the pits. That's not Doyle, is it? It is! It is Doyle! The last lap flag has come out and Doyle, the second place driver, is going into the pits. With 1 lap to go, he must have miscalculated his fuel. Just as we were saying that our podium hopes had disappeared, it's back on now. Lecourt is promoted to 2nd place. We're up to 3rd and we've got 1 lap to go, so let's keep this tight now. We don't want any more mistakes, because look in the rearview mirror, Sebastian Dallas is now only 1 second behind. It's less than a second, so if we make the slightest mistake here, Dallas will be all over us like a rash. Oh, we do make a mistake. We clout that curb on the inside. That's exactly the type of mistake I said about going through there. Thankfully, we managed to keep the car facing the right way. And we got really lucky there. That's a really big curb on the inside, and it so easily unsettles the car if you hit it. We've got away with it. We're still in 3rd place. Dallas is within half a second now, so we've got a few corners to go. And it's absolutely vital that we hit our apexes, we hold our line. And if we do that, we'll be okay. 2 corners to go then. And I tell you what, we weren't convincing through either of those corners, but we've done it. We've got 3rd position, and that's going to give us a massive plus 60 boost to the iRating. We're up into the 1500s. Safety rating will no doubt have taken a little bit of a knock, largely due to that 4X on lap 1 when we suffered the tap from behind from Doyle. But what a race. We've landed our 2nd podium in successive weeks in this Formula 4 class, and this was the moment we thought our podium hopes had slipped away. Lecourt making that move up the inside on the penultimate lap. But thanks to Doyle running out of juice, we got it back. We finished 3rd, and there are the classified results. Before the race started, I said I had no idea which way this race was going to go. I suspected that we could have either bound for a top 5 or struggled to get in the top 10. Incredibly, we've ended up on the podium. I didn't see that coming. So that ends another week of adventures in iRacing. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please do leave a like and let me know what you thought. Thanks as always for watching, and enjoy your races this week. Cheers for now.